Hey there, it's Lacy J from Space Bear Media, the makers of Lost in My 40s. Did you know that you can go to spacebearmedia.com right now to access all our content, including our weekly video pre-shows where your hosts ponder ethical questions related to the week's episode and answer some fun questions just for, well, fun. Speaking of fun, if you have it thanks to our content, please consider rating or reviewing Lost in My 40s on your favorite app, or recommend us to a friend who loves Lost. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Lost in My 40s. We are in season 2, and it is episode 14 already. It's called One of Them. It's a Sayid episode, and Ben is going to give it to us today. But first, hi, everybody. Oh, well.
Hi. Hi.
How's everybody doing? I don't know why I sound like this.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, so last week I started the show by yelling at everyone for not watching our pre-shows, since only a fraction of you do. Or at least at the time of recording, only a fraction of you do. Maybe it's changed by now. So this week I'm just going to ask nicely, go watch the pre-shows, okay?
Please.
All right. I almost said season 14. Nope. Season 2, episode 14, we're going to get into as soon as Benjamin here updates us on our power rankings.
Our power rankings last week ended with Mr. Echo still on top with 114 points. Well, yeah. Locke in second place with 62 points. And Hurley finally getting into the top 3 with 43 points. We have a new bottom dweller with Charlie, hitting a Korean woman over the head while she's gardening does not seem to win you a whole lot of brownie points. So he is down to negative 59 points, and second and third have remained unchanged with Randy Douchebag Nations with negative 33 points, and I'm going to continue with it, Mr. Cooper with negative 30 points. Mr. Cooper.
All righty. Another Sayid episode. I think this might be your first one with Sayid, Benjamin. And today we meet Henry Gale. I'm so excited.
Come on.
All right, Ben, take it away.
Yeah, we start in a flashback, and when you come into the episode with sounds of bombs dropping, then we see Sayid and other Iraqi soldiers burning and shredding documents as the kind of concussions of the explosions gets, like it's getting closer and closer. And there's a man who's yelling at all of them in Arabic to move faster. And when I saw this, I thought it was kind of funny because they're both shredding and burning. And it feels like if you really, really committed to one of those, you could probably do this a lot faster. Because how do you decide what gets burned?
Yeah, just burn it. I guess I understand. I suppose if you just burn and you just shred, maybe you could like forensically put some stuff back together. But burning and shredding, not so much. But yeah
I think it was just a matter of we have these shredders, so we're going to use those, and then we'll also build a couple of fires so that we can make the most of our time.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the shredders probably weren't very good ones. They were probably old Russian ones, so they weren't operating as efficiently.
That's accurate, actually. Yeah.
So people are fleeing the room, and then a man hits one of the people that's running out and says, "We leave when I say." And then all of a sudden the U.S. Army breaks down the door and starts screaming at everyone to get on the ground. Everyone does except for one guy who keeps shredding. And this American sergeant says that he's going to kill this guy if he doesn't stop. But the man obviously does not understand English. So Sayid actually turns around and yells at him in Arabic. And the guy kind of looks up and stops. And then the sergeant who was leading this U.S. detail comes in and asks if he's the one in charge. And Sayid actually lies to him and says that there is no commanding officer and that he left an hour ago for Hilla, which I guess is a town nearby or a city nearby. The sergeant says that Sayid's English is good, but that he's a shitty liar. And then he knocks him out with the butt of his rifle.
So this actor who knocked out Sayid, his name is Theo Rossi. And
is he on The Walking Dead?
No, he played Juice on Sons of Anarchy. So he is our third.
I knew I should have gone with Sons of Anarchy. I knew which handful of shows you would have noticed him on.
We had Katie Seagal, Kim Dickens, and now Theo Rossi.
And all three of them are on Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy.
Is what you're saying? Yeah. I got to watch that show. I've never seen it. I hear it's good.
Cool. Now we're outside at the base, the American base, and there are several Iraqi prisoners kneeling in sort of this fenced area. And then the sergeant from the previous scene hands Sayid off to Sergeant Austin, who's Kate's father.
What?
Yeah, her mother was in last week's episode, and now her dad's in this one. Yeah.
Wow.
So Sergeant Austin tells Sayid that he does not want to be here, but that Saddam insisted on invading Kuwait. So, kind of here they are. He asks Sayid if he's ever done any translating. And Sayid tells him, well, not formally. And then he tells Sayid that an Apache helicopter went down a few days ago and that they want to get the pilot of that helicopter back. And they know that the pilot was taken to the Republican Guard intelligence commander named Tariq. And Sayid repeats again that Tariq fled to Hilla when the bombing started. And as they walk through the door, Sergeant Austin says, "Welcome to Hilla." And there's Tariq sitting there at the table.
In the room. Yeah. So
jigs up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's one thing I want to say about this scene. And that is that Sayid's hair is poofy hair like that. Like he's got it there a little bit longer. It's better than the short hair we've seen in the other Iraqi flashbacks, but it's not as good as his long hair. And I just want to make sure that we focus on the important things when it comes to Lost, which is Sayid's hair. Yeah,
Sayid's hair. All
absolutely. Right. And he is medium sexy with the medium hair.
I will agree with you on that.
Thank you for your agreeance. I appreciate it.
Agreeance? Is that a word?
I don't know.
It is
I
now.
think so.
Agreeance.
It is a word. I thought it was
Isn't
agreement, but I don't know.
Well, it's agreeance now.
So now it is day 58 on the island. Sayid is washing up, and Ana Lucia comes running out of the jungle screaming for Jack.
I think that in this scene where they have Sayid washing up, it's just been a while since we've had any shirtless eye candy. So the producers decided to do us a solid here.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yes,
a solid.
Yeah.
That's what that solid.
Is. Yeah.
All right. So Sayid asks her why she's screaming, and then she takes him to the jungle and to see Danielle sort of lurking about. So he tells her to go back and that he's going to deal with this. So Sayid kind of creeps up.
Stop. Just 1 second. The Google tells me an agreement is an understanding, a compromise to get two sides to find common ground. For things to be in agreement, they are harmonious or do not contradict each other. Agreeance is the act of agreement.
There you go.
So it is a word.
All right.
Thank you, Merriam-Webster.
All righty.
Continue.
Learning is half the battle.
Continue.
Wow.
That's what she sounded like she said.
I almost spit my coffee, Derek.
That's good thing you have that guard on the microphone.
I love the word cunt. Anyway.
So Sayid creeps up on Daniel and surprises her, and then asks her what she's doing here. And she says that she was looking for him. And that brings us to the title screen. So back in the jungle, Sayid is following Danielle, again, asking why she's there. Daniel says that she needs to keep moving and that Sayid needs to trust her. Sayid kind of points out that
she's looking sexy in this scene, by the way. Her hair is amazeballs. I don't know how she stays. Woman. I don't know how she stays so sexy in that jungle, but she does.
I just don't see it. I do not find her. No, not even the least bit attractive.
I find her in this episode a lot more attractive than the previous ones.
Yeah, that's something about this episode for me too, that she seems sexier. You just don't. You're just not attracted to the actress herself. Ben, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's a great actress.
Something about Something about that long mane of hair that gets me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
To each his and her own.
Being stuck in it on for 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that other long mane of hair.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Talk about a bush.
God, here we go.
Her angry
Seriously.
Bush. Like a 70s.
So going back, she had said that Sayid needs to trust her. And Sayid points out that the last time they saw her, she said the others were coming and she stole a baby. So, trust was not exactly inferred in this case.
Yeah.
And she tells him that if she's basically offers him something as collateral as a form of trust. So she ends up giving him, she gives him her gun. And then it's always funny when they do this, like he cycles the action when he gets the gun and a shell doesn't come out, which means if it was loaded and ready to go, a shell would have popped out. So it means she wasn't actually, that gun was not ready to fire in any way. She would have had to cycle the action, probably, But
it's funny, they always do that in these shows.
I know.
Always gotta,
It's like they like
because
that sound.
that's what Hollywood has taught us to understand as a menacing sound and action, and whether or not it's, regardless of whether or not it's accurate, it evokes that emotion of, oh my God.
The scariest would be the shotgun, when you cock a shotgun.
Because that's the loudest by far.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pump action shotgun.
Yep.
So he asks her how far to wherever they're going. She says, not far. And that takes us to
not far.
Flashback number 2. And Sayid is at a table translating for Sergeant Austin, and they're interrogating Tariq, asking Tariq where the pilot is. And Tariq replies, tell him his mother is a goat.
That was funny. That was so funny.
I got the Yo Mama action.
Yeah,
Yo Mama's a goat.
You're saying my mom's the greatest of all time? Well, that's very sweet of you, Tariq.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No. Sergeant Austin says they know he interrogated the pilot, and it might have even been in this room, and that if he tells them where the pilot is, he can go free. Sayid translates this to Tariq, and Tariq tells Sayid that he's a disgrace and that he should grab the sergeant's gun and kill as many Americans as possible before they gun him down.
Damn.
Yikes.
Yeah. This dude's intense.
He's hardcore.
Yeah. Jesus.
And then Sayid says, he doesn't know where the pilot is. So Sergeant Austin is like, look, that's we know that's not what he said, because he was talking for a while there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sayid repeats for the third time that Tariq does not know where the pilot is. Sergeant Austin gets pretty pissed this time, and then tells the guards to lock him back up. We go back to the island. Sawyer wakes up in his tent, disturbed by the sound of a frog. He wants to know if Jin can hear, or if he'll help Sawyer to find it. Jin is not having it. Jin just kind of scowls at him and walks away. And then Sawyer says, well, wait, we ain't friends no more?
They didn't bond on the boat.
Seriously, like, come on, fuckhead. Like, you just declared yourself Imperator at the end of last episode. Like, why are you expecting me to be friends with you?
What do you mean? No, you're not friends anymore. You just, stole all the guns. What the fuck are you talking about, Sawyer?
I mean, I'm assuming somebody told Jin what the fuck was going on. Like, Sun would have had to tell him what was going on.
He would know by now. Yeah.
Yeah. But she had been hit on the head, so maybe she wasn't all there. So maybe he doesn't actually know what's going on. I guess we have to assume that he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's just being a real shitty pal right now.
I think he knows what's happening.
I just saw something yesterday. It was 36 years ago the Challenger blew up. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
It's a long time.
Damn, we just
how in the world did your head go from Jin
just randomly
to that?
Just came across my screen. So,
but anyways,
like, go ahead.
What the fuck? Meanwhile, okay, by the time we record this, or by the time this airs, it's going to be like 37 years.
That's true,
but that's fine.
Okay. Back to Lost.
So, back to Lost, we find Sawyer walking through the jungle looking for this frog, and he says, "What you got there, Rerun?" And he sees Hurley, who's sitting in the jungle, dipping.
So Rerun,
chips
do we all know who
into...
Rerun is?
Yeah.
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 From what's happening?
Yeah, he's from What's Happening, but like his character was kind of always known to be fat and wisecracking and full of disco dance moves. But he was called, do you know why he was called Rerun?
Nope.
Why that was his nickname?
No.
Because he was stupid and he had to go to summer school. And that's how he got his nickname.
All right.
I don't think Hurley's stupid, but he's fat and wisecracking, so that fits.
That's true. So he's sitting on like a log or something, dipping chips into Dharma Ranch composite.
Oof.
Oh, God.
Ew.
I know. Kind of makes the stomach turn a little bit.
But ew.
Yeah, not 30-year-old ranch dressing.
Yeah. So Hurley doesn't say anything and tries to hide the food that he has. And Sawyer points out that you've got a spot of nothing on your chin. And then threatens to expose Hurley's food stash. Then you hear the frog chirp again, and Sawyer reaches for his gun.
Like, oh my God, dude.
Frog.
Seriously. So Hurley says, dude, it's just a tree frog. And then Sawyer tries to strike up a bargain with him, says, I'll keep your little food secret if you help me find the frog. We go back to the jungle where Sayid and Daniel are continuing to walk towards their kind of unknown destination, and he wants to know how much further. Danielle says, we're here, and uncovers a crossbow and some arrows. And Sayid asks her, what is that for? But before she can answer, there's a scream for help. Sayid runs toward the screaming person. Danielle tries to kind of hold him back, and Sayid sees a man hanging in a trap, like in a net, similar to, I think, had one of them gotten caught in one of these before?
He did.
Not in a net, though. He was caught in
he was caught by
a snare. Yeah, he got a snare.
But he got caught
right.
in one of her traps. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is more like Return of the Jedi, where everyone's in like a big net hanging up off them. The guy's saying, please help me. Danielle starts cautioning Sayid right off the bat, don't believe a word he says, that he's one of the others. The man tells Sayid that Danielle is crazy and that his name is Henry Gale and that he's from Minnesota. So Sayid starts to cut him down. Danielle does not. She protests, but Sayid cuts him down anyway. Danielle tells Sayid that he's making a big mistake. And then as Henry Gale starts to kind of run away, she takes a crossbow and shoots him with it.
Yeah, right in the shoulder, through and through, back of the shoulder. Yeah,
I'm pretty impressed that an arrow that size, she could put that thing through his body with a homemade crossbow. Like, she's got to have some serious upper body strength even to get that thing back. Like, so
Danielle's a badass.
I guess
she's
they can make
muscular.
Yeah,
that's true.
Plenty of time to work out on the island.
There's no fat on this woman.
Mm-mm.
That's true.
I mean, she's not like Linda Hamilton, Terminator.
Oh, and T2?
Yeah.
That's some hot stuff there.
Yeah.
So Sayid runs to help Henry and screaming at Danielle that she could have killed him. And she says, if I wanted to kill him, I would have killed him. And she tells Sayid that he needs to tie Henry up and take him back to Jack. She says he will lie for a long time, but they need to question him anyway. Mm-hmm. So Sayid picks up Henry and starts carrying him back to camp.
I love that scene. I love the way that she says, like, she leans into Sayid and she's like, he will lie for a long time. Like, she talks, she's all breathy and intense all the time. And I don't know. I love it. I love how she's out there. She's trapping others and handing them over to the torturer. Like, it's just great. Huh? Others. Well, I mean, that's what she thinks. That's what she's trying, that's what she's telling him. He's going to lie. He's one of the others. Yeah. It's what she's convinced of. And, so far, what we've noticed with Danielle's character is, she's fucking nuts, but she seems to be right about everything she says. Yeah. Right? So for me, as I'm viewing this the first time, I'm like, of course he's an other because Danielle says so.
Yeah.
That's
You
what I
say,
see
right?
right now. Yep.
I trust in Danielle. She seems to have, like the inside scoop as to what the fuck
But if
is going
she's
on this
breathy,
island.
16 years with no toothpaste. Woo.
Damn,
Alrighty.
Back to another flashback. Sayid is handcuffed and he's being taken by two soldiers to meet a CIA operative. The CIA operative, the actor, I think his name is it Clancy Brown?
I think so.
Oh, is it?
He's another one of
I
those actors that
recognize the
ends up
guy.
in everything.
He's one of those guys that plays like law enforcement a lot as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. Military law enforcement. He has a tendency to be that. It's that giant jaw that he's got.
Yep, one of those faces, important guy faces.
Can we earmuff Derek?
Earmuff.
Thank you.
Okay.
So y'all recognize who this guy is, right?
In what way? In the context of the show?
Yeah.
No, what do you mean?
No.
I'm pretty sure he's Kilvin.
What?
Who?
Kilvin. It's okay. It's in next season. I'm pretty sure.
Down the road a bit.
Yeah.
I
You
don't.
mean
but
Kelvin? You mean Desmond's Kelvin?
Yeah. I thought it was Kilvin. Is it Kelvin?
I thought it was Kelvin. Is that who you mean? Is
Either way.
Kelvin?
I don't remember that part of the show. So
Okay.
put it here.
I honestly don't remember if it's the same actor either.
I think so. I think it is. Well, I guess we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Come back, Derek. Thumbs up. You, Derek, come on. Here he comes. Okay.
So the
what we were
CIA
saying,
guy.
what? No. Sorry, Ben.
So the CIA guy shows Sayid a video of a village that was attacked by sarin gas, and he tells them that Tariq ordered it to happen. And this is a village where Sayid had family. So he kind of compliments Said's loyalty, but questions to whom he's being loyal. And basically says, like, loyalty is a virtue, but unquestioning loyalty, not so much.
Right.
Sayid.
We don't have to earmuff Derek again, but I will just say, Christy, I Googled it and you are correct.
Yeah, I just did too.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going, Ben.
So Sayid says he doesn't believe him, but then the man shows him the files on both that they had recovered for both Sayid and Tariq. Sayid tells the man that Tariq is never going to talk to him. And the guy hands him a box and says, well, what's in the box? Yeah, that's why you're going to have to make him talk to you. So now we're starting to see a setup of one of those skill sets that he brings to the island.
Yeah, you know what? Now
he
my
didn't hand
mind
him
is
a box to make shoes.
Right? A bunch of cobbling.
Yeah.
Bunch of cobbling impedimentia.
Yeah.
my mind is kind of blown that you remembered that, Christy. I had forgotten that. Now I can't stop thinking about it. Good catch. All right.
Thanks.
Sorry. So basically this is where we're finding out that the CIA is really the ones who trained Sayid to be a torturer, not
the
Republican
Rockies.
Guard.
Yeah. So Sayid brings Henry Gale to the hatch where Locke is sleeping. So again, we come back and I'm wondering if there's really a two-person system going on with this button. So Locke is sleeping, but is there anybody else in that hatch?
No,
there never is.
Okay. I'm getting more and more pissed at Locke every day.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He's just, oh, come on, man. This is why he was only regional collections supervisor for a box company.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
This is why he did not get Randy Douchebag Nation's job.
Yep.
Randy would have had a two-person schedule. Damn it.
Yeah, fucking ass.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Don't be giving away too many napkins.
Make sure you pay for that chicken.
Oh, my God.
So Sayid wakes Locke up, and they both stare at Henry, who's still kind of, obviously wincing in pain from the giant arrow that went through his shoulder. Sayid wants some questions answered before he takes the arrow out. Henry tells him that he and his wife crashed on the island in a hot air balloon about 4 months ago. So immediately,
Derek
I'm like,
is not convinced.
No.
a balloonist?
Yeah.
You're a balloonist. That screams
Exactly.
credulity right off the bat. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
I think it could be sort of tactical, though. You know, if you start with something that, start with something that
tactical
outlandish,
balloon?
then
Yeah.
no, I mean like the lie
Him
itself.
saying that, yeah.
This is my
The tactical balloon.
Tactical balloon.
I was wondering if
It's
that's
a
what he meant, too.
camouflage. Yeah.
Well, they had balloons like spotter balloons back. They still use them actually,
Yeah,
but they used them all
they
throughout
do.
World War I and II.
Yep.
So it's not unheard of.
Well,
Anywho,
spotted was, but
Anywho.
tactical.
anywho, yeah, I mean, anywho. Henry says they lived in a cave off of the beach, and that 3 weeks ago she got sick and died.
What?
Yeah. At this point, Jack shows up and wants to know what the hell is going on. Sayid explains that Daniel caught him or trapped him and that she believes that he is an other. And Henry asks, an other what?
Uh-huh. Well, you're not an other if you are an other. So.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So they decide that Jack should treat Henry before asking any more questions. But Sayid tells Jack to do not untie him.
No, do not.
He's obviously feeling a little bit of what Danielle felt. Or do you think, like, if he would have met this guy without Danielle telling him, do you think he would have had the same sort of like distrust, or do you think like it was all came from Danielle?
No, I think they would. I think that they would question anyone that they came across, especially since they, quote unquote, declared war. If you cross this line or whatnot. Right. I think I'd be wary, because think about it. Anybody who's joined the camp, other than the backenders, like they've been both, or what I should say is both camps have been infiltrated already. So I think it's safe to assume that they could be trying that again. And so, I think it would have gone the same way, but that having Danielle catch him, at least for the viewers, is I think supposed to lend some credence to the fact that we should believe that he's an other. But, yeah.
So we're back at the frog search. We've got Sawyer and Hurley.
Such a silly storyline.
Ridiculous.
It's a really weird side quest, but okay.
So Hurley starts to kind of wax philosophical about how situations like this in scary movies where people get killed. And Sawyer responds, well, if this was a scary movie, I'd be with a hot chick, not with you, Barbar. Hurley corrects him and says, it's Babar.
It's one of my favorite books as a kid. You guys ever read Babar the Elephant?
Yep.
A little bit, yeah.
Sawyer's basically making a horrible fat joke.
If you're going to call him an elephant, at least call him the right elephant.
But Babar are great books. They're written by a French author in like the early 1900s, I think. Anyway.
I think we had I had Barbar. That must have been like the dollar store version of it.
Yeah. That was the rejects.
The poor man's Babar.
Yeah,
Babar.
exactly.
Babar.
And then, right after that, Sawyer calls him Hamo.
What does Hamo come from? Is that
I think he's just calling him a
Just
pig.
fat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fat,
Yeah,
ham.
yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. At which point, Hurley snaps and says, fine, go ahead. Tell everyone the fat guy has been hiding ranch dressing. The fat guy likes to eat. Yeah, I'm fat. Fat, 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 fat. You think I don't know that? At least people like me. You know what? Find the damn frog by yourself.
And I would have said,
Yeah.
fun with that
From
frog,
Hurley.
fucker.
Yeah. So,
I mean, he's right. Yeah, like, so what?
Yeah.
I'm fat. I'm a decent person, you asshole.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck off.
Sawyer said something earlier too when they were walking. He says that something, I don't know what it was that Hurley said, but Sawyer responds that your ranch disorder is going to be the lead item on the coconut internet.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. He's
Wow.
like, you got to help me, or this is going to happen. Your
Or
ranch
this.
disorder is going to be out there.
Right.
Yeah. And it was just like, oh my God.
Damn it, Sawyer.
Oh my Lord. So after the whole fat shaming thing, Sawyer apologizes and begs Hurley to help him because the frog is killing him.
Uh-huh.
Now, I take umbrage here. The frog is killing you. You staged an armed coup. And now,
You're worried about
a day
frog.
later, you are incapable of dealing with noise of a tree frog.
Mm-hmm. Sawyer doesn't like to be annoyed. He's probably trying to read, and the frog won't shut up.
So the other question is, how far do they have to fucking search for this thing? Like, it's like they're going through search grids at this point, and like he was right next to the beach. So how far inland? Do they have to go 5 kilometers inland to find this fucking frog?
Yes.
Well, and this isn't even the first creature on the island that has annoyed him.
Yeah.
You know, the boar.
It was the boar. Yeah.
Yep.
Was after him.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't like to be disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to explain this. It's not that controversial. Just Sawyer doesn't like animals in his way.
Guess not. So we go back to the hatch where Jack removes the arrow from Henry's shoulder. Locke and Sayid stand a bit away, kind of discussing him. They both think that he's fairly convincing. But Locke says that there's really no way for them to know whether he's telling the truth. And Sayid tells Locke to change the combination of the armory and that intimating something needs to be done here. And they both think that
and
Jack
Locke,
won't.
Sorry, he does question him about like whether or not he's just looking for revenge for Shannon.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Which is a good insight on Locke's part, because I wouldn't put it past Sayid to torture somebody. He was going after that coconut last week. Now he's got Henry Gale.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
So they both think that basically Jack will never do what's necessary. So I liked this scene because Sayid is back. Hurley gave him a walkie-talkie. That's all it took. Last episode, he gave him a walkie-talkie. Now he's back to like full baller torturer status.
Baller torturer status?
Baller.
I feel like we shouldn't be glorifying the torture part, but yeah, I get your point. He's Sayid again, at least.
Yeah, he's Sayid. He says that I'm Sayid.
But for someone who doesn't want to torture people, he sure does torture people a lot.
He does.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
Yeah, I mean,
he swore
maybe
he would never do it again.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of backsliding going on in these episodes. You got Charlie, menacing son beating her over the head with, and you've got Sheriff Sawyer staging his coup. So yeah, there's a lot of backsliding going on here.
Yeah.
That said,
Jack, though.
I'm glad to see Sayid back. His hair looks great. So.
I mean, yeah. His hair is everything.
So Jack is still working on Henry when Sayid comes up and wants to know if Henry said anything. Jack tells him that he's in shock. Locke doesn't want to leave him out in the open because they said, like, once people see this guy here, it's going to cause a panic. So Sayid suggests that they lock him in the armory. Jack agrees and says they'll move a cot in there. Once Henry is inside the armory, Sayid closes the door. And Jack says, like, Sayid, what the hell are you doing? And he says, what needs to be done?
Well, Sayid closes the door with himself inside and Jack outside. That's the important part. And through the door, he yells at him, and Sayid says, what needs to be done? Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Sayid the torturer is back.
Yeah. So we go into flashback number 4. Sayid comes into a room where Tariq is being held, and he's holding the big brown box that the CIA agent gave him. And Tariq sort of laughs at the idea of Sayid torturing him. And at first he claims Sayid would never do it because he's loyal. And then he tells him not to dishonor his father before ordering Sayid to kill himself.
Douchebag.
He says, do it and die with what little honor you have left.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It is. From his point of view, though, I mean, kind of not wrong. Yeah. But Sayid goes as the wind blows. I mean, his loyalty is to himself and to the people that he loves. He's not loyal to this cause in the way I think Tariq and Saddam were.
Yeah.
And where did that get him?
Yeah.
Hole in the ground.
So Sayid gets pissed and basically says that, you'd order me to commit suicide over this unimportant information. And Tariq spits in his face. Sayid picks up a pair of pliers. Ooh, I'm going to get medieval on your ass.
I'm going to get medieval on his ass.
So the CIA agent is pacing outside the room. Sayid comes out and tells him that the pilot was murdered a few days ago and was buried 4 kilometers away, or 5 kilometers
Maybe
inland.
5 kilometers inland.
Yeah. And that he can take him there. When Sayid hands the torture box back. The torture box back.
Torture box backs?
Box? Yeah. That was a bit of a tongue twister. You can see the blood all over his hands.
Yep. Yeah, he doesn't even wipe them off. He just comes out with bloody ass hands.
Out that at one point when the CIA guy was talking to Sayid, he actually showed him video of Sayid's village back home, and he's like, "Your guy Tariq went into
gassed your family.
Yeah, gassed
you're right. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't know this, but I looked up sarin gas because that's what he said he used.
Brutal.
It is. I knew that, but I looked up the mechanism to find out like how it actually worked and what it did, and it functions on the human body much the same way that insecticides function.
Yeah, it's like Raid for humans.
Yeah, on insects. In the way what it does is it blocks nerve cells in the brain, and your nerves, your brain can no longer control your muscles because the nerve messages are being blocked by this gas.
Yeah, it doesn't allow them to fire so they don't release.
Right. And so you lose the ability to stop contracting your muscles. So essentially just every single muscle in your body contracts, and eventually you asphyxiate because it's also happening to your lungs. But just essentially like imagine when you get a small cramp and that's the pain from the contraction of the cramp in your muscle. Imagine every muscle in your body doing that.
Including your sphincter.
And then you die.
Multiple sclerosis. So sometimes the messages don't go through, from your neurons. So I can get that a little bit. And there's something called the MS hug that happened to me during my second attack, and it's your midsection feels like a really, really uncomfortably tight hug.
Oh wow!
It's a very strange feeling.
Did that make it hard to breathe? Like abdomen or thorax? When you say midsection, what are you talking about?
You're basically your entire midsection.
So both abdomen and thorax. So you're including your lungs in that. Did it make it hard to breathe?
Not for me because mine wasn't that bad.
Okay.
I'm sure that it probably can make it difficult for some people.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways,
pretty much all nerve gases act that way.
That's what they do. They all just block the messages between the brain and the muscles.
Your muscles can stay contracted until you die.
That's fucking horrible. I can't believe he was using that on people.
Gas. That's kind of strange.
But which is why Sayid decided that it would be okay to torture this guy for what he had done.
Yeah, they do give him some justification for the switching of the sides and stuff. Yeah, thank you for saying that, Christy. I don't know why I forgot to put that in the outline. My bad.
Well, at first I was like, okay, Tariq isn't horrible, but when I saw that video, I'm like, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can see it from his side, like I was saying earlier, like from his point of view, Sayid is a traitor. Like I get it. I get, he's a patriot, for Hussein, but it's like if that's the case, then why are you dropping sarin gas on your own people? Yeah. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, Saddam did do that.
Yeah, was it mostly Kurdish?
Mostly to the Kurds.
Mostly Kurds folks,
Exactly.
Poor Kurds, they get brutalized by everybody. Turks.
Yeah.
That's not incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Jack tries the combination on the vault, but it doesn't work. And he's screaming at Sayid to open the door. And then he asks Locke why Locke changed the combination. And Locke was like, well, Jack, you were raising an army.
He's so bitter about that.
Yeah. He's like, if you're raising an army, it means you think we're at war. So whatever Sayid is doing in there, that's just part of the war. So Jack asks him, what if he's telling the truth, John? And Locke replies, what if he's not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So inside the vault, Henry appears very confused as Sayid starts to question him. Sayid wants to know.
So fucking great. He's
I love him.
He actually is. Yeah,
fucking
he really is
great, and he's so great at this role. It's like,
is he in other things?
Like
other shows?
I would have to look
Y'all
that
usually
up.
know that.
I've seen him in some stuff.
I've seen him in
but
stuff.
I couldn't say off the top of my head.
but he
did a real good job in this so far.
His facial expressions, he's so emotive, and he's got this amazing way to speak words that you can see. It just doesn't match his body language and the expression on his face. And he's very good at making you feel uncomfortable about what he's saying and doing. He's suspicious as fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
He was in Saw.
Which one?
Yes, he was in Saw. He was in the original Saw. He played an orderly in the hospital. Yep, you're right. Yeah.
I've yet to see Saw.
All right, sorry.
Not
Ben,
into torture
take us back
porn.
in the vault. Hey, Ben.
Yeah, babe?
Got any special occasions coming up that you need a card for?
Is this a trick question?
No, it's an advertisement.
Is this about barbcards.com again?
Bingo.
So I suppose you're going to remind me that each handmade card is only $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't come with busy backgrounds or flowery poetry.
You got it. Barbcards.com offers to-the-point communication within several different categories, including our favorite, potty mouth. And if you can't find what you want, barbcards.com can do customizations.
Can I still get all of my cards for no more than $4 shipping, no matter the size of the order?
You know it. Barbcards.com has got all you need. Hey, Ben.
Oh my God, what are we selling now?
Merch.
Our merch?
Yes, sir. Shirts, coffee mugs, wine tumblers, bottle openers, stickers, magnets, and more. Your choice of product and your choice of Space Bear Media graphic from any of our podcasts.
Please tell me we're not making merch now, too.
Of course not. We'll stick to podcasts, and Pixis Products will do the rest.
Thank God. I bet you have more to say, though.
Sure do. Pixis Products is a small business run by a local mom, well, local to us anyway, who needed something else to do besides being a snack bitch.
A what?
A snack bitch, also known as a mom with a young child.
There's still more, isn't there?
Yepers! Pixis Products works with other small businesses for supplies, art, and other collaborations at every opportunity, including ours. In fact, Pixis Products even gave Space Bear Media our own storefront on their site. You can find us at shopspacebear.com.
Say what?
You heard me. Go to shopspacebear.com and buy something.
So Sayid wants to know where he and his wife landed, where they stayed, how long they stayed there, why they stayed there, how far this place was before.
Yeah, it's like
how
rapid
far
fire.
Away he was. Yeah.
Interrogating him at this point. Yeah.
So Henry tells him it was 4 months ago that they stayed in a cave on the island's north shore, and that they stayed because they had a transmitter, and that they were, hoping that planes would be able to, pick them up.
Right.
The region ones.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
So Henry asks Sayid who he is, but Sayid does not say anything. Sayid has to ask again, but Henry tells him that that the beach was a 2-day walk from where he was captured. So Sayid fires off another series of questions. What was his wife's maiden name? Where did they meet? How did she die? Henry tells him Murphy, the University of Minnesota, and that she got sick. So Sayid digs into that, questions the word sick. Henry tells him that it started as a fever, and after 2 days, she was delirious, and then she died. Do you believe him at this point?
Well, for me, like I said, I was immediately suspicious of this guy, obviously, because Danielle said he's an other, and I want to think that Danielle's right. I also want to think he's an other because I want there to be more others.
Yeah.
When he said his wife was sick, that brought back when Danielle and her crew got her crew got sick. So I was like, well, there is truth to that.
Yeah. And I get it, who the fuck travels by balloon? But the story that he's saying is convincing. He's got answers to everything. He doesn't appear to be lying, but there's just something about Henry Gale that's not quite right.
He's just practiced in his lies.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing is like, you got to think about the first impressions. I have it in my head. Danielle said, he's going to lie. He's going to lie for a long time.
Yep.
And I'm believing her at this point. But again, like I said, I'm just cheering it on. Like, please be another. I want you to be another.
Yeah.
Please. Anyway.
So Henry is upset he's being questioned and treated so poorly and wants to know why Sayid won't tell him who he is. So Sayid kind of waxes on philosophical about the speech, about how when he was 23, the Americans came to his country. Yep.
23.
And when they came, he was a good soldier then, but when they left, he was something different. Yeah. He talked about a period of 6 years when he did things he thought he could never do. But also then he basically tells him, but part of this was always me. Part of what I did, part of those awful things was always there. You want to know who I am? My name is Sayid Jarrah, and I am a torturer.
Mm-hmm. Very
I would hear that if I was
dramatic.
Seriously.
Oh my God, I know.
I wish Henry had been like, do you get dental with that?
Oh my God. But I'm kind of,
I'm 401k match.
I'm with Christy here. Like what she was saying earlier is just like, or you could not. Like you keep saying you don't want to do this. Like maybe you could just not be a torturer. But okay.
Tiger don't change his stripe, Freckles.
That's right.
Yeah, a couple episodes in a row that are trying to prove that. Huh?
Yeah, I'm saying, man, this is like the backslide part of the season.
Yeah,
Frimples, exactly.
Frimples.
Oh boy.
So back with Sawyer and Hurley, we can hear the tree frog. Hurley sees it and runs up, but trips and falls.
Because of course he does.
Because of course he does. The frog leaps and Sawyer deftly catches it. And then he looks at the exactly. He looks at the frog and is surprised that so much noise could come out from such a little thing. And Hurley tells Sawyer that the frog reminds him of a pet turtle that he had when he was younger, when he was 10.
Named Stuart.
Named Stuart, yes, who ran away. And then he sort of
turtle ran away.
Exactly. Yeah. And he says, I think maybe my mom threw him out.
Let me tell you,
yikes.
there is a person local to me who owns 2 tortoises. And they've gotten out a couple of times.
Do they just roam around this neighborhood?
Back in the alley, somebody found 2 tortoises back in the alley. And then the guy was like, oh my God, my tortoises got out. And
you remember that happened? That happened to us, babe. Do you remember like a year, maybe 2 years ago, there was that fucking tortoise on our next door neighbor's lawn? We were like, what the hell is there? Yeah,
that did happen. And animal control came and got it, and it was obviously somebody's escaped pet. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it sounds ridiculous that a turtle could run away, but 3 of the 4 of us have experienced.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
Okay, when I was a kid, me and my dad would go play golf, and I brought a turtle home from the golf course, and I put it in a box in the backyard. My mom gave it food and plants and shit, the thing. And then the next day I wake up and the thing is gone. It knocked the box over and it was gone.
Okay, so 4 runaway turtles.
Yeah.
When I was younger, my brother and I used to go to Florida every summer to visit my grandparents, and they lived in Naples, which isn't too far from Miami, a couple hours north of there. And they took us to Miami one summer to go to the zoo and, some other things, just see Miami. But I remember we were at the zoo and we're walking around. I was probably 11 or 12, maybe my brother 8 or 9. And from wherever we were in the zoo, we just heard this like over and over. And we're like, what the fuck is that? So we convinced our grandparents, like, let's walk toward the sound. We want to see, like, what is this? So as we come up, we see there's, one, they're not called exhibits. That's a museum. What is it? Enclosure or whatever it is at the zoo.
Yeah.
And there's this crowd of people and everybody's like taking pictures, and we get closer and we hear more.
Two of them fucking.
We get up there. It's 2 fucking tortoises.
Yep.
And they're fucking.
One is on top of the other, just going. And basically, everyone in the zoo had migrated over to watch the tortoises fuck each other.
Do they fuck as slow as they walk?
He grunted slowly, but yeah. So, anyways, that was what we went to the zoo to see.
Watch it till climax.
I don't remember. Maybe. I'm pretty sure my grandpa probably said something about it being vulgar and made us go somewhere else.
The other one's taken to the hospital.
Everybody witness some turtle tantric.
Anywho.
Oh my god.
There it is. I don't think we'd heard anything from you so far, so I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Next week's my episode, so I'm sure
there's
we'll
going to be
enough.
a lot. Yeah. So where were we? I think
Somewhere
Hurley
with a
is
frog.
trying to tell. Yeah, I think Hurley is like, hey, Sawyer, how about I take this frog 2 beaches down and I go find a little, girl frog or whatever for him to live with.
Mrs. Tree Frog.
Mrs. Tree Frog. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sawyer squishes the frog in his hand.
The fuck?
Instead.
Asshole.
To which Hurley just says, dude. Sawyer smiles and says, I hear with a little ranch that tastes just like chicken.
Yeah.
Sawyer.
Fucking prick.
So mean. Hurley's face is heartbroken. He wanted to save him and find Mr. Tree Frog, a Mrs. Tree Frog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you can hear that frog from 5 kilometers, damn.
Yeah, man, I know. imagine them fucking. You'd hear them all over the island, man. So back in the hatch, Jack is cleaning up Henry Gale's blood. Locke tries to help, but Jack is having none of it, and I love it.
Yeah.
Locke says something, and Jack just says, shut up.
Yep. That was funny. Shut up, Locke.
Like they're a couple. It was so
Oh, they're so bickering. I fucking love it. And then at this point, Jack realizes that the pliers that he had used getting the arrow out of Henry's shoulder are missing.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. But at that point, I wonder if he thought, like, shit, did I leave the pliers in him?
Yeah.
I don't think they went inside.
So we're back in the armory. Sayid is with Henry. He asks about the balloon and says he wants to know every detail of the balloon. So Henry starts, just listing it all off. It's 140 feet high, 60 feet wide. Uses 550,000 cubic feet of helium and 1,000 cubic feet of, or was it 1,000?
100,000.
100,000 cubic feet of hot air to keep her in the sky. And he says, when you look down on her from above, you see a big smiley face.
It was like a
big
Walmart.
Yellow smiley face.
A big yeller smiley face. Mm-hmm. So Sayid questions why he'd travel that way. And Henry tells him he used to be rich. And Sayid makes note. Yeah, makes note of the used to be. And Henry makes a
rich
kind of a
swat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Henry makes a sarcastic
if anybody's going to
remark
travel
about,
by balloon, it's going to be a rich twat.
Yeah. So Sayid fires some more rapid fire questions at him about, how'd you make your money, blah, 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 blah. And Henry tells him that he made a fortune selling non-metallic minerals. He had a mining company.
I don't know what the hell that is.
A non-metallic mineral
Maybe
mining company.
Yeah,
that's a tongue twister.
Oh
too.
yeah, I mean there's all kinds of
non-metallic minerals.
Yeah. So Sayid wraps the pliers around Henry's fingers and demands to know where he buried his wife. Henry gets a little flustered, says he can't remember. And then he asked him how deep he buried his wife. Was that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Sayid starts screaming about how, Henry says like he
You
can't
should
remember.
know how deep.
Yeah. He says like, if you
tough scene. This is pretty gut wrenching for Sayid.
Yeah.
Like you realize how distressed he still is about Shannon.
Yeah, I mean, this whole like over this kind of tirade he goes off on right here, you can see that the projection becoming more and more,
Big time. He just wants to find someone to punish.
vivid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, if you buried the woman you loved, you'd remember every agonizing fucking minute of it. And at this point, this is when you realize he's talking about himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And Henry realizes it too and asks him, "Have you lost someone?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's good.
Let's think about this for a second. If he actually is an other, he knows damn well that he lost Shannon, and like just to say that would be a way to poke at him, right? Like because at this point we don't really know if he's an other, but if he is, he should know that Sayid lost somebody that he loved.
But how would they know that?
Well,
how
I
would
guess
they
I'm
know
just
that Shannon was killed?
Because I'm assuming that they're spying on them.
Yeah.
As they have been the entire time.
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean that was my line of thinking. But
I didn't really assume that. I the way I thought of it was like he saw this front crumble right in front of him, and he was like, "Ooh, now I know how to not get tortured. I need to be his friend and start asking him questions." Like,
sure,
he's just trying to turn. He's just trying to counterpunch him right now.
He saw some kind of weakness, so he latched onto it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So he does that.
Finger,
Yeah, you ask him, you've lost somebody here on the island, and then Sayid starts gushing about that. And there was an accident. The man, the person who did it was trying to protect her people. And then
he says, "From people like you."
From people like you.
Yeah.
People
and
like
then
Henry.
Sayid starts beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Saying, "Tell me who you are."
I mean, he's wailing on him.
Yeah. Jack is banging on the door now, hearing what's going on in there, and Locke tells him this has to happen.
Jesus, Locke.
And then Jack takes Locke, puts him up against the wall, and demands to know that he opened the door, give him the combination. And Locke refuses. But just as he refuses, you hear the timer.
Yes.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Beep,
Yes.
beep, beep. So, yeah. Now we've got a real situation.
Keep him against the wall. Keep him against the wall.
So Henry is still pleading with Sayid, saying he'll do anything to make the beating stop. And Sayid is screaming that he wants the truth. Back outside, we've got Jack and Locke, with Locke trapped against the wall. The beeping in the background starts to get faster. Locke wants to go into that actual room and, execute whatever the command is.
The numbers.
And that, yeah. But Jack won't let go. And he says, "It's under a minute now, John. You better think fast."
Man, I wanted it to go
so
off.
great.
Yeah.
Locke knows he's trapped. He can't let that go.
Exactly.
He can't let that go. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
world's gonna end.
Locke tries to convince him. He's like, "Jack, you wouldn't risk everyone's lives." But then Jack says he doesn't believe anything's going to happen.
That's
When it
right.
gets to zero.
That's pretty much been Jack's attitude about it.
I don't think anything's
day
going to
one.
happen either.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't, Derek? You don't think anything's
Nope.
going to happen?
Nope.
All right. We'll put
All
a
right.
pin in
At least
that.
right now.
So this is happening, and then inside you still hear Sayid beating the shit out of Henry Gale, saying, "Who are you?" We come back. The timer is down to 27 seconds, and Locke gives in. He enters the combination. He actually says, "I'll
He
give
was
you the
gonna give
combination."
it to Jack.
Yeah,
And Jack's like, "Hell no.
I'm not stupid.
No."
You do it." So he enters the combination, and the timer's at 10 seconds, and he runs back into the whatever the computer room is. Jack opens the door and then grabs Sayid, pulls him out of the room, and then Locke is in front of the computer now trying to type in everything. And of course, every time they do this, they fuck it up. They're typing the wrong numbers.
I know. I was like, yes, he messed it up. It's going to go off.
So before he can hit the final number or whatever, the timer hits 0, and then all of the whatever those things are, the tickers or whatever, start spinning around, and you see all these weird symbols come up in red.
What?
They're hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah, they're like glyphs, exactly. And then you hear like this machinery kind of start coming up in the background. You're like, oh no, shit's about to come up.
Hell yeah.
But then the timer stops and you hear all the machinery starting to kind of wind back down.
Damn it.
Yeah. So it was funny because, the hieroglyphs or whatever, it reminds me of Stargate.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I thought when I saw that.
Opens up a gateway
yeah,
to some distant planet. Yeah. And a bunch of spinoffs.
Oh, like SG-1 and all that.
Yeah, Atlantis. Yep. Do you guys ever watch any of those? I know like a lot of people really liked them, but
I watched the movie.
I've seen
and
the
I did
Stargate
watch a few
film.
of the SG. I saw a few of the episodes, but not in Atlantis.
Yeah,
I like the movie though.
Yeah, I've only seen the film. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked the movie. So let's see, where were we? In the background, Sayid, Jack, and Henry are arguing. Sayid is convinced that Henry's lying. And Henry says he'll tell them whatever they want. Jack wrestles Sayid out of the armory before slamming the door shut, and then Henry is left alone to tend to his bleed. Man, he got the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, and Henry's not, he's kind of a mousy sort of little kind of guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like a fighter.
No, not really.
Yeah, he's like a big pussy. Yeah. I'm not a fan, but anyways.
So Jack asks Sayid, like, what the fuck was that? Why do you think, like, why did you do that? Why are you so convinced that he's one of the others? Mm-hmm. And then Jack reminds him that Danielle once mistook Sayid for another and electrocuted him. And Locke says that to Russo, they're all others. I guess it's all relative.
That is true.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
So we go to flashback number 5. We're at an army convoy is driving down this stretch of road. When you see all the sort of oil fires in the background, like you guys remember that? Like when they set all the oils ablaze, all the oil fields ablaze.
It was all over the news. Yeah,
first Desert Storm. It was like crazy.
Yeah.
We would have been like early to mid teens. The four of us.
Yeah, I was in 10th grade.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a wasteland.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a desert. Why does all the oil have to be in a damn desert?
It isn't.
I know Jesus.
Jesus, can you tell me?
So Sergeant Austin is in the truck with them, and he's looking at a photograph of young Kate.
What?
And he asks Sayid if he's got a wife and family, and Sayid says no, or shakes his head no. And another one of the men tells Sayid that the Americans are not going to Baghdad, so that Saddam's still going to rule.
Stupid.
And that Sayid will still be employed.
Blunder.
Bush. Yeah. So he makes it seem
CIA guy.
Yeah, it was the Clancy Brown, the CIA guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes it seem like the torture that they just forced him to perform will be an asset. He says, what you made me do is something that no human should ever do to another. And then the CIA guy replies in Arabic. He says, one of these days there will be something you need to know, and now you know how to get it. And then he lets him, then they like get him out of the truck. And as they drive away, you see him standing there. And the scene was both cool and also like really, really fake looking. You got
it was a terrible green screen or whatever.
Yeah. You've got like Sayid standing there on the ground with the oil fields burning behind him while this truck drives away. And it's like, if that scene had been done well, it would have been like an amazing picture. But
I noticed. I was like, that's really cheap. It's really like $1,000 though, too, man.
Yeah, they said it was bus fare to Ramadi.
Yeah, bus fare. Yep.
And then of course, when the guy, when the CIA dude tells him like he's got the skills he needs, of course Sayid says, "I will never do that again."
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Heard that before.
Yeah, like what he said. No human being should ever have to do to another. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, I am Sayid.
The guy speaks Arabic?
And I am a torturer.
The whole time? What did they need Sayid for then? What was the whole fucking point of that? Anyway.
Yeah.
Mind games.
Yeah, I guess.
Trying to see how flexible Sayid is.
Was a goat.
Yeah.
It's
a goat.
I would imagine the CIA does that. They're always probably looking for people of certain flexibility.
Sure.
For future notes, because it's like, I think everyone knew when we left Iraq the first time, it wasn't really over.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I imagine like the CIA would think, yeah, this shit's going to be going on, at least if not like full war, like there's probably going to be
they have assets
forces
everywhere.
here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just think they were just basically grooming him as a CIA asset or as an asset
sense.
of the Western governments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
Which he becomes.
Yeah, exactly. So we're back on the islands, and Sayid is sitting on the beach with Charlie, and he tells him that Russo Sayid tells Charlie that Russo caught the man in the hatch, and that he was beating the shit out of him. And Charlie asks Sayid why are you telling me this?
I was wondering that too.
Yeah. So Sayid says that he knows Henry is an other, and the reason why he knows is because he felt absolutely no guilt for beating him.
Okay, that's not a good measure.
Right.
No, you don't know for a fact he's an other.
Yeah, no, that's not how you know whether or not he's another Sayid.
Yeah. That's how you know you've backslid.
Good grief. Yes.
So he then tells Charlie that Jack and Locke have forgotten. And Charlie asks, forgotten what? Sayid says that you were strung up by your neck and left for dead. That Claire was taken and kept for days, during which God only knows what happened to her. And that these people, the others, are merciless and can take any one of us whenever they choose. Mm-hmm. So tell me, Charlie, have you forgotten? That's it. Scene.
I had forgotten about Charlie being tied up.
Yeah.
Strung up.
Well, see.
Strung up. Yeah.
He was hanged.
Well,
yep.
I knew about Claire because it kept being talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd much rather be hung than hanged.
Hung like a horse. Hung like a horse.
So yeah, that was the
episode.
Episode 14. One of them.
Alrighty. Who's ready for some fun facts?
Me.
Thank you. So, like I said last week, we are in the midst of a short literary stint in the fun fact world. And today, we're going to talk about The Wizard of Oz. Anybody know why?
Henry Gale.
Yeah. Who is Henry Gale?
Dorothy's uncle.
In The Wizard of Oz, Henry Gale is the uncle of Dorothy Gale and husband of Auntie Em. In the books, Henry and Em's last name or how they are biologically related to Dorothy is never actually revealed. However, in the film, it says Gale on the farm's mailbox in Kansas, so it's implied that Dorothy is the daughter of Henry's brother. In the film, the actor who played Henry Gale also appears in Oz as the guard to the door of Emerald City. Mm-hmm. In later books, Henry Gale actually moves to Oz and becomes the agricultural advisor to Princess Ozma, ruler of Oz, rightful ruler of Oz. She does not appear in the original book, but she is in the rest of them. Also worth noting that the Wizard of Oz traveled by hot air balloon. And just for funsies, I am going to go ahead and mention that near the end of season 3 of Lost, there is an episode titled The Man Behind the Curtain. The writers of this show love The Wizard of Oz, and they also love Watchmen, which is why they said they wrote Henry Gale's balloon to have a giant smiley face on the top as an homage to Watchmen.
Nice.
That's cool.
So, that is who Henry Gale is. Whether or not that has anything to do with the plot of Lost, Derek, you'll have to wait and see. Let's talk about some best moments and worst moments. Christy, what do you think?
Best moment was when Jack put Locke up against that wall.
Oh, yeah. It's hot.
Worst moment, Sayid torturing Henry. and crying about Henry would remember burying the woman that he loved. That was just, it was gut wrenching.
That was also my worst moment. But my best moment was when Danielle said, if I wanted to kill him, I would have killed him.
And you believe her. Yeah.
Fucking love her.
Yep.
I do. Derek, how about you? What were your best and worst this week?
My best was the same as Christy when Jack put Locke against the wall, and I was hoping so bad for that to go off, but, of course it didn't. And the worst... And the worst moment for me is when we found out what Tariq did to Sayid's village. Just shitty.
Yeah. That was bad.
Yep.
Benjamin.
My favorite scene was right around the time where Jack puts Locke up against the wall. Locke says something to him, and Jack just says, "Shut up."
Shut up. Yeah.
He doesn't follow it up with anything. He doesn't even say "Shut up, John" or anything. He just says "Shut up." He sounds so fucking over it, and I just loved that. My least favorite.
You know what he sounded like? He sounded like Joe Biden in that insane fucking debate
up,
with
man.
Donald Trump. Would you shut up, man?
Dumb son of a bitch.
He sounded like. He's just
and
done.
He said
he's
some
just
Fox
done.
reporter said he's a. What did he say recently?
He said
about
a
some
stupid
Fox
son
reporter?
of a bitch.
Yeah, stupid son of a bitch. That was funny.
Fucking amazing.
Peter Ducey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stupid son of a bitch.
But that's in my head. That's where. Will you shut up, man?
Will you shut up, man? My least favorite. I say least favorite scene, but it's really the entire frog storyline. I can even have that entire thing. Well, it was just so fucking forced. Like it's another. I feel like it's the same thing as last episode where they're like, in order to I don't know, have these other sort of storylines stoked up, they're making Sawyer a moron, doing moronic things. He's like a knight errant, just going off doing stupid things, and I just really hated that entire storyline. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a shitty side quest.
Yeah, it was a weird side quest. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Why don't you keep going, Ben? What are your best characters, worst characters? Who you poking? Who you killing?
Well, my favorite was Sayid. I know. He was torturing people, but I'm just glad to see him back in the saddle. Second best was Hurley, and then Jack in third place because with Jack, I just loved him like putting Locke up against the that whole stag fight is really fun. Worst is also Sayid, so I chose him for my best and my worst. He was by far the most entertaining character. And then I've got Tariq in second place and Sawyer in third. I didn't fuck anybody. This was not a particularly sexy episode, so I'm just going to kill Tariq.
We have some similarities in that last half there. My best character is Danielle. I fucking love her. She got one. I'm convinced this is another, and she fucking got one. And then my second and third is Locke and Jack, because I love the dick waving. I mean, normally in real life, I would find two guys that were dick waving, like idiots.
Sword fighting.
In the show, I fucking love it. I love it. Then I have some similarities with you, babe, in my worst. I've got Sayid Tariq as, what the fuck did I miss?
Docking.
What's docking?
Just look it up. Everybody, just look up docking.
Yeah.
Docking? Like
yes,
Docking?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Like you dock a tail?
Sort of.
What?
Sort of like you dock a boat.
I got a dog. Like we have boxers.
You think
Tails
two
are
things docking is when they come together and they touch.
Oh, you're talking about peepees touching each other.
Yes. I think another one is it's called frotting or something, where they like rub their peepees together.
What are they? What's the character in Wedding Crashers? He calls it tummy sticks. Let's play tummy sticks.
Let's play tummy sticks.
All right. Good God. Okay. So my worst characters are Sayid, Tariq, and Sawyer for the torture, the sarin gas, and the frog squishing. I am going to fuck Danielle inside one of her traps. And I'm going to kill Tariq because the sarin gas is too much. How about you,
Danielle's
Derek?
vagina might be a trap.
It might be.
Best for me is Sayid, because yes, he is back in the saddle and back to being useful again, even if it is torturing. Second is Hurley, because I just, like that. I didn't like the quest, but I just, he was funny.
Yeah.
And third is Jack, because he told Locke to just shut up. Because Locke just gets so butthurt about that army.
He is butthurt about the army.
Yeah.
My worst is Tariq because of the Saren. Second worst was Sawyer, just because he's dumb. And third was Henry Gale. I don't like Henry Gale.
Okay.
I am going to fuck Danielle this episode because she looks good, and I'm going to kill Tariq.
All right. Ben. No. Christy.
Already did it.
Sorry.
Christy.
I had a hard time finding a top three. I just went with Danielle and then Jack.
Okay.
My bottom three are the same as you, Lace, but in a different order. I have Tariq, Sayid, and Sawyer. I couldn't even put Hurley in the top three because I was pissed off at him for hiding fucking food. He shouldn't
be doing that.
There were a lot of good people that did bad things in this episode.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of the characters are kind of backsliding this season. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. So I'm going to fuck Danielle and I'm going to kill Tariq.
Oh, Danielle's getting a lot of sex this week. Nice. All right, Benjamin, now over to you. Update us. Have the power rankings changed at all?
No, not really. I mean, we still Mr.
I feel
Echo.
like there may be some shifting in there, but nothing enough to pop into
the top or the bottom.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I see, Mr. Echo is still at 114 points, so he's got a comfortable lead. Locke is in second place with 65 points, and we've still got Hurley in third place. So no changes at all on the top. We still have Charlie in last place with negative 59 points. And it looks like we still have Randy Douchebag Nations in second place and Mr. Cooper in third.
So nothing, literally nothing changed.
No
Nothing's
changes.
changed there.
Nothing.
Yeah,
no changes.
that's interesting. How many points does Sayid have? How many points does Danielle have? I'm curious as to where they are.
Sayid has 7 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's wild,
Danielle, let's see. Danielle has 17 points.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this happens a lot though, because we end up, taking these kind of one-off characters, and we hate
like
somebody
Tariq.
so much, like Mr. Cooper or something for an episode. It's like, yeah, you stole your son's kidney, so obviously you're going down in the ranks. Or the other characters, they do good things and bad things, so they stay in the middle,
Right.
So,
That's what I was saying is like, I feel like
bad,
there was a lot of shifting in the middle, but nothing that will push them top or bottom. Yeah. Giggity. Okay. Guys, let's talk about next week. It's going to be Lost in My 40s, Season 2, Episode 15. It's called Maternity Leave. It's a Claire episode. It's my episode. And none of us have done final impressions, so fuck that. Ben.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say.
About to say.
I realized halfway through. You know what? I've had 2 cups of coffee spiked with Kahlua and Bailey's this morning, so I Ben, what's your final impressions?
You got an alcohol problem.
That's your impression.
You're an alcoholic. You drink at home. That's what I always say.
That's right.
I blame COVID.
All in all, I like this episode way more than the last one. So the last episode was dog shit, but I thought this one was pretty decent. I liked the additional sort of backstory with Sayid, and I like finally understanding that him becoming a torturer was not something that he learned via the Republican Guard, but he actually learned via the CIA essentially kind of turned him, and his sort of admission that the capacity to do that had always been within him. Him sort of like grasping that, and that becoming the sort of the backslide for him. He he's in this situation and he's trying to take out all of his pain and this is the way he does it. He finds Henry, he gets Henry Gale, and okay, this is how I can do it. But then all of his pain kind of comes out while he's interrogating Henry Gale, and Henry Gale kind of turns it back on him. And I really, really loved that piece of it. Because it shows that happened, and it shows that Henry Gale is formidable. Even getting the shit beat out of him, he is formidable. And And then there's that whole fucking side quest, which I'm just like, whatever. It's funny, the whole ranch thing in Barbar, but really Sawyer's he's just sort of a fucking loss this part of the season. So
yeah,
it was a B+. B+.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christy, what'd you think of this episode? One of them.
I like this episode. I love Danielle episodes. I'm super excited that Henry Gale has shown up.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this.
About that.
Such a great character.
Yeah, I agree that the side quest with Hurley and Sawyer was dumb.
Time filler.
Yeah. So yeah, all in all, I thought for the most part it was a really good episode. I mean, there was some dumb stuff, but yeah, it was great. So
okay,
that's it.
Yeah, I love this episode. The side quest thing was definitely weird, but the introduction of this character, Henry Gale, is exciting as fuck. I can remember the first time I watched it, I was begging, the universe, please let him be another. Just please let him be another. I wanted so badly because it meant the originals had leverage. They've got one of them and it gives them an upper hand. And I'm, obviously rooting for my cast. But to see Sawyer's backslide again, yeah, that's tough. It's like every time he says he's not going to torture, he tortures again, and it's getting kind of old. Where it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Did I say Sawyer? I meant Sayid.
Yeah,
Sawyer tortures.
Sayid.
No, sorry. I meant Sayid. And so that part is hard to watch. But all in all, I thought it was a great episode. I think the chemistry and the banter between Jack and Locke is amazing. And yeah, just overall. Welcome to Henry Gale. It's good to see him again. Derek, what'd you think of this episode and Mr. Henry Gale? And what questions do you have?
I thought it was a really good episode, except for the side quest. We find out that Sayid became a torturer for the United States, or the CIA, instead of the Republican Guard. And he tortured his commanding officer, who deserved it for gas in the village. And we don't know who Henry Gale is, but it seems, to me at least, he's probably an other, even though he didn't confess to it after getting the living shit beat out of him. And, Locke still isn't happy about that raising the army thing. But I have two questions this episode. One is, who is Henry Gale? Is he telling the truth or is he an other? And what is the hieroglyphics and the machinery all about? When he didn't, almost didn't hit execute in time.
All right. So both of those are fantastic questions. I am happy to say that Mr. Henry Gale sticks around, and you will get some answers on him in the coming weeks and season 3. So now, next week, it's going to be Lost season 2, episode 15. It's called Maternity. It's a Clea episode, and I will be giving it to you, and we will see you next week. Bye.
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 I stole my baby.
My baby.
Lost in My 40s is a Space Bear Media production. Executive produced and edited by me, Lacy J. Sound engineering, editing, and original music by Benjamin Trimp. Like and follow Lost in My 40s on Facebook to interact with your hosts. Plus, follow Space Bear Media on YouTube to watch our episode pre-shows. You can also find us at SpaceBear_media on Instagram and Twitter. Or come to our website, spacebearmedia.com.